Alright folks, let's dive into the ever-evolving saga surrounding Rangers and their search for a new manager. And trust me, things have taken quite the unexpected turn. Just when it seemed like the shortlist was narrowing down with names like Russell Martin, Carlo Ancelotti, and the ever-familiar Steven Gerrard dominating the conversation, the landscape has shifted once again. And not in a small way. Reports coming out thick and fast are now suggesting that Steven Gerrard is officially out of the running to take charge at Ibrox. That's right. The man who brought us our long-awaited league title is now seemingly out of contention. And let's be honest, it's a bit of a blow, but when you start to unpack the reasons, it all starts to make sense. Word is Gerrard's family is well settled where they are currently, and uprooting them back to the UK isn't something they're looking to do. Family first, right? That alone could have been enough to pull him out of the race. But there's another layer to it, and it's a financial one. See, Gerrard made a hefty sum during his time managing in Saudi Arabia, and returning to the UK would mean facing an eye-watering tax bill. We're talking about a massive cut into those earnings. Imagine pulling in that kind of money only to hand over a big chunk of it just for switching countries. No wonder he's thinking twice. Now, I know plenty of fans were split on the idea of Gerrard coming back. Some saw it as a step backwards, others saw it as a homecoming that could reignite the fire. Personally, I'd have welcomed him back. There's a sense of unfinished business with him. But at this point, it really looks like that ship has sailed. And that's despite Dave King, who, let's not forget, played a big role during Gerrard's initial spell, coming out and saying that Stevie seemed like the obvious choice. Sure, he had a point. Gerrard was the last manager to bring the league title to Ibrox. There's a legacy there. And yes, King and Gerrard had a close relationship. But let's not forget King is no longer involved in the decision-making process. He's got no real say anymore. The board currently in place, depending on how the takeover pans out, is also being kept out of the loop. That's right. Word from Glasgow is that this whole managerial process is being handled away from Ibrox completely externally. It's not the board pulling the strings this time. It's the 49ers and Andrew Kavanagh who are running the show. All the interview shortlist decisions is being done independently. And honestly, after some of the past disasters, this board has presided over, maybe it's for the best they're being kept out of it. The fans deserve better, and maybe this hands-off approach will deliver it. Now let's talk about a new name that's just entered the conversation. A fresh face. Someone who by all accounts was already approached for the job back when Michael Beale was brought in. This name, Francesco Farioli, the young Italian coach who's most recently been in charge of Ajax. That's right, Ajax. Not exactly a small name in European football. Farioli parted ways with the Dutch Giants recently, and from what's been reported, it wasn't the smoothest exit. Apparently, there were significant disagreements with the board, and it disrupted what was shaping up to be a dominant campaign. At one point, Ajax were 9 points clear at the top of the Eredivisie. 9 points. Under Farioli, they were playing attractive football and looked set to cruise to the title. They were making noise in Europe as well. But then, boom, things collapsed. A fallout with the board internal unrest and Ajax's title hopes hit the brakes hard. PSV capitalized, overtook them, and snatched the title. In the end, Ajax faded in Europe too. So yeah, there's a red flag there. But despite that stumble, Farioli is widely considered one of the most promising young managers in Europe right now. What's interesting is that Farioli never really had a career as a player, and that's becoming more common these days, isn't it? He was a goalkeeper back in the day, played for a small club called Margin Coperta between 2007 and 2008, but never made a name for himself on the pitch. Instead, he threw himself into studying philosophy and sports science at the University of Florence. That academic background is reflected in the way he approaches the game. He's a thinker, a strategist, someone who builds his footballing philosophy from the ground up. His coaching journey started humbly as a goalkeeping coach at Margin Coperta, the same club he played for. He never made the leap as a pro, but what he lacked in playing pedigree, he's more than made up for in tactical insight. Farioli is only 36 years old, hails from Barga in Italy, and like I said, he's part of this new generation of coaches who never played at the top level but have risen quickly through the coaching ranks. So how did he make his name? Well, He started his managerial career with Fatih Karagümrük in Turkey. In 2021 moved to Alanyaspor. Between 2021 and 23 then took over at Nice in France during the 23-24 season. And finally landed the Ajax job in 2024. Rangers fans might remember that we faced Ajax in a pre-season friendly not too long ago. And we lost with Farioli directing things from the touchline. So yeah, he's already had a taste of facing Rangers. His rise has been pretty meteoric when you think about it. He worked closely with Roberto De Zerbi. Yes, the same De Zerbi who made waves in England with Brighton and is now doing his thing in France with Marseille. Farioli was a goalkeeping coach under De Zerbi at Benevento in 2017 and 2018, then followed him to Sassuolo, staying there until 2020. You can see where his style comes from. He's clearly influenced by De Zerbi's possession-based philosophy, but he's added his own twist to it. Before all, that Farioli had a pretty varied background. He was involved with Qatar's under-17 team as a game operations manager, worked at the Aspire Academy as a goalkeeping coach, and even served as an advisor to the Italian national team. So yeah, he's been around. And not just in coaching. Roles, but behind the scenes too. He knows how football clubs operate on a structural level. Once he stepped out from De Zerbi's shadow, his first proper managerial role was as assistant at Alanyaspor. From there, he took over at Karagümrük, then returned to Alanyaspor as head coach. That's where things really started to take off for him. Then came the move to Nice, where he had a solid season, guiding them to 5th place in League One, and securing a Europa League spot. He even had them briefly challenging PSG, though, let's be honest, Nice just didn't have the funds to keep that up. Then came Ajax. His time there was a bit of a roller coaster. Initially, everything looked golden. The team was flying in the league and showing real promise in Europe. But then came the disputes with the board and the season went south. Despite all that, he ended his time at Ajax with a win rate of just under 65%. That's a strong figure. Maybe that's more reflective of what he could achieve at a club like Rangers. Because let's be real, the Dutch league, like the Scottish Premiership, is dominated by a few big names. Ajax, PSV, Feyenoord over there, Celtic, and Rangers over here. So those numbers are worth looking at. Style-wise, Farioli is all about possession, short passing, and fluid movement. His teams build from the back, dominate the midfield, and play with quick, incisive passing to stretch opponents. That's something Rangers have been crying out for. Urgency, dynamism, creativity. Our build-up play has been sluggish for too long. Farioli's style could be the shake-up we need. He uses high pressing to win the ball back, creates overloads. On the wings and gets lots of bodies into the box. Off the ball, his teams are compact and force attacks wide, always ready to spring forward again. He might be young, but make no mistake. This is a coach with a clear identity and a serious track record of improving the teams he manages. Sure, there are question marks. The way things ended at Ajax wasn't great. The internal issues the title collapse, those are concerns. But you also can't ignore the progress he made and the way his teams play. And let's be honest, if he had won the league with Ajax, he wouldn't be available right now, would he? This is a manager who's ambitious, forward-thinking, and has been tested in multiple leagues already. It's no surprise he's being linked to the Rangers job now. The club seems to be doing its due diligence. With just under a month before preseason begins, it might feel like things are dragging. Some fans are getting anxious, and you can't blame them. We've known for a while now that Barry Ferguson wasn't going to be appointed, and yet here we are still without a new manager officially in place. But maybe, just maybe, there's a method to the madness. Maybe the delay is about making absolutely sure they get this one right. Because once the new gaffer is in, they've got to hit the ground running. There's no room for error this time. From what's been reported, it's not the current board calling the shots anymore. The managerial search has been pulled away from the inner circle at Ibrox and handed over to the folks behind the scenes, the 49ers Enterprises, Andrew Kavanagh and his team. These are the people leading the charge, and until that transition is completed, we probably won't see any official announcements. There's talk that mid-June is a key moment when everything could be finalized, and only then would we get confirmation. On who the new manager is, Kevin Thelwell's name has been floated too. Now he was recently involved at Everton, and their season only just wrapped up, so his availability might also be a factor in the timing. If he's playing a role in the process, even informally, then that too might have caused a bit of a delay in how quickly decisions are being made and communicated. So if you're sitting there thinking, why is this taking so long? Well, there you have it. It's not just about choosing someone and making the call. It's about aligning everything behind the scenes, ticking every box, and making sure the club's in the right hands before any official appointments get rolled out. And look, while the wait is frustrating, it's better than rushing in and making another mistake. We've seen far too many of those in recent years. Now back to Farioli, because this guy really could be a game changer. Not just tactically, but in terms of fresh energy and vision. You get the feeling that he's hungry, he's young, he's sharp, and he's got something to prove. He's already been trusted by clubs in France, the Netherlands, Turkey, and in each case he's left a mark. If he's given the time and the backing, Rangers could be the club where he really explodes onto the wider European scene. And yeah, I'll get it. Fans are skeptical. They want a winner. They want someone proven, someone who knows the game inside out. But sometimes the big rewards come from taking a calculated risk. And this wouldn't be a wild swing in the dark. Farioli has a system, a track record, and a clear footballing brain. You're not bringing in a name just for the headline. You're bringing in a thinker, someone who could reshape the way we play from the first whistle. So as we inch closer to the end of the takeover process, and as the clock ticks toward preseason, all eyes are on what happens next. Whether it's Farioli, David Ancelotti, or even someone we haven't heard mentioned yet, what's clear is that Rangers are not rushing this decision. They know what's at stake. They're digging deep into the candidates. And while it's easy to feel impatient, maybe it's time to trust that this is about more than just picking a manager. It's about setting the foundation for something bigger. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers are swirling around Ibrox this week, as reports emerge that Rangers midfielder Nicholas Raskin may have suffered an injury during a recent training session. While nothing has been officially confirmed by the club, sources close to the squad suggest that the Belgian playmaker picked up a knock that could potentially keep him sidelined. The incident is believed to have occurred during a high-intensity drill, with some onlookers describing Raskin as visibly distressed as he left. The pitch! Though details remain scarce, there is growing speculation among the Gerrard's faithful that he could miss out on the upcoming fixtures, a potential blow for manager Philippe Clement as he navigates a crucial stage of the season. Raskin, who has been an integral part of the Rangers midfield since his arrival, offers a combination of technical finesse and relentless energy that has endeared him to supporters. His absence, even for a short spell, could pose significant challenges, especially with key matches on the horizon. However, as is often the case in these situations, the club has maintained a tight-lipped stance. No official statement has been released regarding the nature or severity of the injury, leaving fans and pundits alike to speculate. Some insiders have downplayed the seriousness of the situation, hinting that it might merely be a precautionary measure, while others fear it could be something more substantial. The uncertainty has only fueled the rumor mill further, with social media buzz with theories and supposed sightings of Raskin leaving the training ground with medical staff. For now, all eyes will be on the team sheet for Rangers' next match, as supporters await any concrete news. If confirmed, Raskin's injury could force Clement to reshuffle his midfield options, with the likes of Ryan Jack or John Lundstrom potentially stepping up to fill the void. Until then, it remains a tense waiting game at Ibrox as fans hope that one of their key men is not set for an untimely spell on the sidelines. As ever in Scottish football, rumors like these take on a life of their own, but only time will tell. How much truth there is behind the latest whispers surrounding Nicholas Raskin's fitness. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.